Greetings everyone, and welcome back. Today we will be doing something a bit different from our recent readings. In the past, we have focused on poetic expressions of virtues as they relate to European knightly standards of chivalry. In this series, we shall delve into a warrior code outside of Europe, journeying far across the world and oceans to Eastern Asia, and specifically, Japan, the ancestral homeland of the samurai and their warrior code of Bushido. The poems and haikus we read in this series branch out to explore more than any single virtue of the Bushido Warrior Code. Many of the poems we read about here are in fact real samurai death poems, or poems written by real historical samurai, but moments prior to their deaths. In respect of these men, and to better understand their varying final reflections, all Bushido lessons and virtues shall be recognized together, so we may understand how each man's final thoughts are unique. For those of you who are new to the channel, it is our ambition here to explore the code of chivalry, and similarly noble creeds through poetry, both recent and archaic, as this is how we can truly understand the virtues of the past and use them to shape ourselves, helping to build a better world. If you wish to read today's pieces for yourself, you can find them linked in the description. But now, relax and take heart, for this poetry is the stuff of chivalry. The information concerning the death poems we read today come to us from Lyubov Zuzinska, translation by Elena Savlokova, from Art Magazine. Death poems is a distinctive genre of Japanese poetry, written by the samurai in the face of certain death. The spiritual meaning of the teachings of the code of honor of all samurai states that only a person who is prepared for death will be able to live a full life. Bushido teaches awareness of the transience of life and its inevitable ending, encouraging one to appreciate every minute of it, because it may very well be the last. Ichikyo Kozan, life from 1283 to 1360 AD. The deceased Buddhist mentor who died with a brush in his hand. On the day of his death, he asked his students to bury him without a ceremony and without any funeral rituals. These are his final words. I came empty-handed into this world and barefoot. I will leave it now. My arrival and departure accidentally coincided with the world. Ota Dokan, life from 1432 to 1486 AD. A samurai, known as the founder of the Edo Castle, and therefore Tokyo. These are his final words. Had I not known that I was dead already, I would have mourned my loss of life. Kaisen Jokai, life from 1500 to 1582 AD. A Buddhist teacher and head of the Rinji monastery who burned alive along with the temple and other monks. These are his final words. The one who rejected thyself and rejected the world full of vain, and among the flames will he attain coolness of the mountain water. Mori Motonari, life from 1497 to 1571 Anno Domini. One of the most powerful tycoons of his time. These are his final words. Rejoice in friendship. Of the past, it cannot be returned. With the scent of cherry blossoms, just enjoy the now. Yusugi Kenshin, life from 1530 to 1578 AD. The ruler of the land of Ichigo, an example of a chivalrous stance towards a rival. When salt ran out in the land of his primordial enemy, he passed caravans of salt from his enemy through his lands. Quote, "I am not fighting with salt, but with a sword." These are his final words. 49 years, one night's dream, a lifetime of glory, a cup of sake. Hosokawa Fujitaka, life from 1534 to 1610 AD, a warlord of the era of the fighting principalities. These are his final words. In the world that dwells in change, while forever unchanging, like fallen leaves, words that have sunk deep into my heart give birth to shoots. Shimazu Yoshihiro, life from 1535 to 1619 AD, the 17th leader of the Shimazu samurai clan. These are his final words. In the spring, flowers, and in the fall, foliage. Everything is fleeting. This is the human race, gatekeepers of the void. Hakuin, life from 1685 to 1768 AD. A Buddhist monk and Zen teacher, he became famous as an artist, sculptor, poet, and master of koans, Zen riddles, the answers to which are acquired by intuitive insight and not by an intellectual exploration. The most famous of Hakuin's koans. What is a one-hand clap? These are his final words. O young folk, if you fear death, die now. Having died once, you won't die again. Saigo Chirko, life from 1835 to 1868 AD. The daughter of a military advisor to the Aizu clan, to avoid falling into the hands of government soldiers alive, she committed suicide during the Civil War. These are her final words. The female body may be weak, like bamboo that bends in the wind, but still my spirit is unbending. Takasugi Shinsaku, life from 1839 to 1867 AD. One of the royalist leaders who created the Chihetai People's Militia, based on the European model. He died of tuberculosis, leaving the suicide verse unfinished. These are his final words. To make interesting an otherwise boring world, and lets you live accordingly, is nothing but your own mind. The verse was finished by his wife, the poetess Nomura Motoni, 1806 to 1867 AD. After the death of her husband, she was tonsured, which did not prevent her from continuing to actively participate in the royalist movement. Bokosui Wakayama, life from 1885 to 1928 AD. A poet and one of the adherents of the modernist naturalistic direction in tanka poetry. These are his final words. A parting word, the melting snow is odorless. Hideki Tojo, life from 1884 to 1948 AD. The Prime Minister of Japan from 1941 to 1944. He took responsibility for unleashing the war in the Pacific. He was convicted by the Tokyo Tribunal and hanged. He wrote 4 dying verses, 1 in expectation of the verdict, the 2nd after hearing the verdict, the 3rd and 4th before the execution itself. These are his final words. Can't you hear? No, you can't. No sound. The cherry is falling. I hope you have enjoyed today's video and have learned something from this reading on samurai poetry. If you wish to hear more, please like our videos and subscribe to our channel. Peace be with you. Until next time, we speak of chivalry, Bushido, and poetry.